What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Chig coming at you with another Diablo 3 build guide. Today we are going to be talking about the Immortal King HOTA set. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, anything you can do to help out the channel for free. And don't forget, we are doing a giveaway when we hit 1,000 subscribers. In order to enter, you have to be subscribed to the channel, you have to like one of the videos that mention it, and you have to comment on the videos that mention it. Then I'll do something kind of an RNG kind of thing, and I will pick a winner for the giveaway. I will be giving away a copy of D4 or another video game of your choice, depending if you already have D4 or how long it takes to reach that threshold. Anyway, let's hop right into it. So this is not a quote-unquote speed build. You're going to be doing things in less than 3 minutes, but you can do graders or you can do normals with this. I'm going to demonstrate it on a grader, but like it is literally one of the easiest builds to play in the game. After you get rolling, you push 2 buttons. It's great. So let's start with the gear. Well, first thing I'll show you, I don't have any points in my paragons. Alright, let's start with the gear. Fear of the Ancients. Most of my gear is not re-rolled. I don't care for this kind of stuff. I'm trying to show you guys how strong it can be without being min-maxed. Fury of the Ancients. Call the Ancients. Gains the effect of the Ancients' Fury rune. Your Ancients attack 100% faster. It gives you more Fury. I mean, this is basically because there is no set piece there. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of different things. Just make sure you get something with good stats in that slot if you don't have Call of the Ancients. We also use the Traveler's Pledge set, the Endless Walk. We'll go over that in a second. I just happen to have a really good one. It's amazing. The Immortal King set, we use full 6 pieces. So we have the chest, the head, the legs, the hands, the feet, and the waist. The only thing we're not using is the weapon, and that's because we're using these 2 weapons. There's a couple of ways to make this a little faster. Switch out the Echoing Fury for an Engolim, and you can charge around like a madman and just hit elites, but the way it plays is fun enough that I don't think you have to worry about that. Plus the attack, the walk speed and attack speed from Echoing Fury is definitely a bonus. We are using Mortix Brace to have Wrath of the Berserker have all runes. We're using the Traveler's Pledge and Compass Rose. While moving, your damage taken is reduced, and while standing still, your damage dealt is increased. We're using the Band of Might for extra toughness from charging. We are using the Remorseless weapon. While both Wrath of the Berserker and Call of the Ancients are active, HOTA deals increased damage because that's our biggest damage dealer. We're using Echoing Fury because it gives us attack speed and move speed. We're using a cooldown gem in the hat. You do not have to have a cooldown gem in the hat. I would recommend putting a life gem in the hat. That's just habit for me. I put the cooldown gem in there. We're using resistance gems in all of the gear. And we are using the Pain Enhancer because it gives you increased attack speed. That's all we need it for, is increased attack speed. We're using Bane of the Stricken. Obviously this is better when you're pushing. If you're not pushing, you can use Bane of the Powerful. Pretty much anything you want in that slot if you're not pushing, but Bane of the Stricken gives you increased damage against boss monsters and stacks up your damage. And then we're using Bane of the Trapped because anything that is slowed takes increased damage, and since everything's in melee range, everything's going to be slowed and taking increased damage. In the cube, we're using Convention of Elements. You don't even have to think about Convention of Elements in this build because you're literally just holding down HOTA. It'll roll around to fire. It'll deal more damage when you hit fire. Bracers of the First Men. Hammer of the Ancients attacks 50% damage and deals 500% increased damage. That's what you want. I mean, that's all we're doing. We're literally just casting HOTA. And then the Gavel of Judgment. The damage of Hammer of the Ancients is increased by 800%, and it returns 25 Fury if it hits 3 or fewer enemies. So we're going to be just stacking up. Like, we'll be at full Fury the majority of the time, and Gavel of Judgment, just, it's amazing. So I am going to go ahead and, let's see, what was I going to say? I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. Help. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go over the skills real quick. Call the Ancients together as one. They last until you die, so divide all damage dealt to you by 50% amongst your Ancients, so you're taking 50% reduced damage. Wrath of the Berserker, we have all of the runes on this, so it doesn't matter. Furious Charge, Merciless Assault, just to set down the cooldown. Hammer the Ancient Smash, it does a smaller amount of damage, and it has an increased amount of crit chance based on the amount of Fury you have. We're at almost full Fury most of the time, so we have a really high crit chance. Sprint marathon, I do this just for movement, just to get around, because it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you were pushing, you would make this something like Rage Flip, um, Ancient Spear Rage Flip, where you could bring things with you and stack them up, right? That's what you would do if you were pushing, but we're not pushing. We're just using this for speed at the moment, just for farming and stuff. Battle Rage Bloodshed, whenever you crit, everything explodes around you because it's awesome, and you always crit and you're always exploding. We're using Brawler, so whenever there's 3 or more enemies within 12 yards, your damage is increased by 20%. Berserker Rage, you deal 25% increased damage while near maximum fury. We will almost always be near max fury, and there will be a point where we are at max fury at all times. Just starting out, we're not. Ruthless, you deal 40% increased damage to enemies below 30% HP. This helps out. And then Rampage, increase your strength by 1% for 8 seconds after killing an enemy, stacks up to 25 times. So we'll have 25% increased damage at all times. Or strength, not damage. So I'm going to go ahead. I just did 100 in less than 3 minutes, but I want to demonstrate it on a 90 just to kind of show how it works. So like you literally keep sprint up, charge to keep your buff up, and you can hold down HOTA, right? Like you don't have to think to play this build at all. And as you can see, Wrath of the Berserker comes back around immediately because you're spending on HOTA, and this is literally all you have to do. You can set it up where all you have to do is hold down the one button. Like if you want to put your Wrath on autocast or whatever, there's videos on how to do that. I don't remember how to do it because I haven't done it in so long. Or you can just do what I do, and you can spam your left click while you're walking around when you think it's about to fall off or when it's close, and you can just pop it, right? And then we just want to run around and bring down the hammer. It's not slow, but it's not as fast as the other speed builds, right? Like that's the only thing, is it's not as fast as the other speed builds. And the good thing about this build is like the build is the build. Like this is how you play it, right? Like this is the setup. You use this for normal riffs. You use this for greater riffs. This is just how it plays, right? So you don't have to change anything. Once you put it together, it's together. Like I said, if you want to push, you can switch around the sprint for the rage flip, but for the most part, you don't even need that. When you're doing anything that's not pushing related, you literally can just walk around and hold down the button. Another thing you could do if you wanted, I suppose, is ground stomp, wrenching, smash, just to pull stuff in and blow them up. Like, there's no reason not to do that for the most part, but like, how fast did we do this rift? We did this rift in 2 minutes. Okay, so yeah, it's super easy to play, super fun to play. You can turn your brain off and just go, right? And it destroys things. It's amazing. It's not hard to gear. It's not hard to do anything with. It's just there, man. It's a super easy build to put together. It's a super easy build to play. And, you know, it's just get out there and put this one together. If you want like an alternative to farming or anything, easy to get keys, super tough, easy to get. It's good for speed farming, as you just saw. I mean, it's a little bit slower than the whirlwind, and literally like 30 seconds slower, which I mean adds up eventually. But we're not here for meta, we're here for fun, right? Anyway, if you stuck around to the end, I appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Do not forget that we have the giveaway going on, so you can enter that. And yeah, get those legendaries. Catch you guys in the next one.